Hey, everybody. How is everyone doing? I know it's been several weeks since I have been on. The last podcast I'd had was for the horoscope. So I apologize. It's been almost 3 weeks. There's just been a lot going on this end. I'm hoping to get back to a more normal schedule coming up so I can maybe get back to my at least once a week podcasts instead of twice a week. Twice a week would probably be a little much for me right now, but hopefully I can get back to at least once a week podcast. So, how's everybody doing? Is there anything I should know? Anybody want to fill me in on anything? Tonight is a fireball sipping kind of night in my fireball glass. It's so cute. I love it. Tonight we are finally getting to Oregon's Most Haunted. After Oregon, wrong paper. We are moving into Pennsylvania. Oregon is the last O. No more O face. No, I'm just kidding. There's only one P. Pennsylvania will be coming up as the next haunted state. I tell you. So let's see. It's already, guess what? I just realized it. I just now realized that today is 420. Not that that matters to me, but I just noticed the date that it's 420. So cheers to that, y'all. I'm just can't keep my drink closer because I need a bigger desk. Y'all have heard me saying that. I need to get in here and build myself a desk is what I need to do. I really need to get in here and build myself a bigger desk. And I have an idea in my head how I would like to build it. I've just got to get in here and do it. But if I am going to move, I don't want to do it yet. So that's the thing. I need to wait. But anywho, let's get started on Haunted Ohio. Haunted Oregon. Sorry, we did Ohio a long time ago. Don't know why I said that. So I have 11 haunted places in Oregon. This is the top 11 most haunted places in the state of Oregon. I only know one person who lives in Oregon. I don't know if she's going to be coming in. Her name is Mandy. She comes in here quite often in the comment section. Thank you. And so the first place that we're going to talk about is I don't know if I'm going to say this properly. Multnomah Falls. And this is the Columbia River Gorge. This is in the Columbia River Gorge. I'm not sure what town that is. But it says, did you know that one of the most famous Columbia River Gorge waterfalls, Multnomah Falls, has a creepy past? Long before the famous bridge was constructed, the story goes that an indigenous woman leapt off the top of the falls to save her village from a rampant illness. Many claim to feel her presence in the mist, but in most common sightings are during the winter in Oregon, where visitors say they can spot her face in the waterfall. Now, when I looked it up, that's not what I found, but we'll get there. Now, take a hike to the top. You can take a hike to the top of the Multnomah. If I can say that word, falls to experience a dizzying height. Now, it's the tallest waterfall in the state at 620 feet tall. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1981. It's one of two that are year-round waterfalls and falls into the Benson Lake. Now, a lot of the waterfalls only flow certain times out of the year. This one and one other one is year-round. It is known for several deaths, with the first being Indigenous woman leapt off the top of the falls to save her village from the illness. It's said she became very ill and did not want to spread this disease. She jumped, taking her own life. Now, this waterfall is a 2-story waterfall. She landed on the first tier, like it's a big, long waterfall, and then it lands like a big piece of land and then runs off of that into the bottom of, so it's a 2-tier. Well, 2 stories, whatever. She landed on the first tier and the water pressure pushed her on down to the bottom waterfall. It's unknown if she died on the first tier or the bottom fall. People claim to see her, hear her, and can smell her perfume in the mists. She is seen on the first tier, but mostly she is seen down by the bottom of the river's edge. People have seen and heard her sitting by the edge crying, and when they approach her, she just disappears into thin air. Another death is a 41-year-of-age hiker, Gerardo Hernandez Rodriguez. While on vacation, he and his family were indulging in some alcohol and hiking. It's said that he lost his footing and fell almost 200 foot, landing in the bottom just next to the waterfall in the river there. And on September 10th, 2025, a hiker, Benjamin Holcomb, 49-year-of-age male, went hiking and was never seen again. And they went and put out this missing thing. And now later that day, a caller reported finding an unresponsive male at the bottom of the waterfall in the river. It was confirmed to be Mr. Holcomb. It said he must have lost his footing and fell down the waterfall. And his shoe and blood was found on the first tier. Vic, what do you mean you're in the ER? What's the matter? Excuse me. Y'all remember Vic? She's in the ER. What happened? Oh my God. Are you all right? Have you had the surgery already? Or you have to do it? Oh, you've had it. Okay. Please say a prayer for Vic. Vic, our prayers and positive thoughts go out to you. Hopefully we can entertain you for a hot minute. I don't know. We're talking about Oregon's most haunted, but I love you. I haven't seen you in a hot fucking minute. But I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry you're having complications though. So maybe we can entertain you for a little bit. Okay. Now, it is often said that the male spirits can be seen here walking around, and once it appears a man was fly fishing, but then disappeared into thin air. So it looks like they kind of still hang out at the river there. But I've seen some pictures of it, and what a place, they picked a pretty place to hang out and fish and cry at the edge. I think that sucks. If I saw a girl sitting there crying at the edge of a river, I'd probably want to walk up and ask, okay, if she's okay. But apparently if you approach, she disappears. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm hoping they figure out what those complications were and everything. Did you have it removed? Girl, that's a very common thing. There's several of my best friend doesn't have her gallbladder. And a couple of them, actually, there's one, two, there's Annie and Rita and Terry. All three don't have a gallbladder. Okay. Well, just be close to a bathroom. That's all I know. It's just until you're used to it, just be close to a bathroom. No matter though, we love you. We love you very much. Hello, guy in Florida. I am a Flow Rider as well. Okay, you're here. Listen. All right. Okay. So we're going to move on to the second one, which is called the Battery Russell. Now, a military battery it refers to a cluster of cannons in action as a group, whether it be a temporary installation or a permanent. There are many batteries, which is 9 at Fort Stevens, and Battery Russell is just one of several in the area. Excuse me. Now, it's a military building installation at Fort Stevens in Astoria, Oregon. If you visit, make sure you pick up a brochure in the parking lot explaining what things are and where it used to be on the map. You can get lost and confused easily there. There are 2 levels, and the bottom with storage and office buildings, and the top with old gun pits. During World War II, on June 21st, 1942, a Japanese submarine stationed off the coast managed to damage the fort. This makes it the only U.S. mainland military base to be fired upon since 1812. This Japanese submarine fired 17 shells from an I-25. And it caused minimal damage to the structures, but killed and wounded hundreds. Now, it's said that ghosts of soldiers can be seen walking around the grounds, liking from the Civil War era. Battery Russell was a highly unpopulated station, mainly because it was built haphazardly. I don't know if that's how you say that word. And quickly, and soldiers never stayed there very long. Common stories are ones of seeing a soldier with a knife and another soldier pacing up and down the area with a flashlight. Let me click here and okay. Japanese submarine I-25 fired 17 shells at Fort Stevens. The attacks caused minor damage to the structures and wounded hundreds. There was a soldier who cut his head while rushing to his battle station. Doesn't say how bad. The ghost soldier, despite the lack of wartime fatalities, Battery Russell is reputed to be haunted by a ghost soldier. Visitors and locals have reported sightings of an apparition in 1940s era military uniform patrolling the grounds. That must be the one that's going back and forth. The battery is named after Civil War Union Major General David A. Russell, who was killed in action in 1864 in Virginia, not at the Oregon fort. It's claiming that things have deteriorated because of neglect, but they are capable of being cleaned up and stabilized. and is currently in the process of rehabilitation. So just if they're redoing the property, then that's going to upset the spirits, and they're probably either more spirits will come out, or the ones that have been seen there is going to just get mad and come out more often. Because anytime I've ever heard spirits get upset with, if they're messing up something, they're used to it one way, they don't want it to be fixed or redone, or they get mad at any type of construction being done to their locations. All right. Now the third one. Tillamook Head Trail in Ecola State Park. Between the abandoned World War II bunkers and Terrible Tilly. This is a lighthouse named Terrible Tilly. This place can get really creepy really fast during bad weather bouts. This is Oregon coast. It's a hike you can take. When the fog rolls in, it becomes super spooky. This place also was a booming logging area abundant with spruce trees, with plenty of areas where temporary logging camps used to be. Tillamook Rock Lighthouse is notorious for nightmarish weather conditions. It is constantly being slammed by rough waves. It was also used as a columbarium for a time, which is a location for the remains of cremated bodies. So this is where cremated bodies were put. Now, in May 2019, a 21-year-old student fell to her death off of the 100-foot rocky cliff. Also, the ship named Lupatia sank in 1881 just out from the lighthouse. Several people drowned and floated up onto the shore. There's whispers in the woods. Knocking can be heard, growling when nothing is there. Soldiers pacing on the shore are often seen. Crying can be heard if you're hiking. Shadows and spotted groups of fog. Shadows and spotted group of fog in some areas. Oh, I'm sorry. You will see shadows and you will see bunches of fog in different areas, not just fog all over. So it's bunches of fog in different areas. Excuse me, I couldn't read my own damn handwriting. That's pretty fucking sad. And sometimes the fog is white and sometimes it's black, whether it be the shadows or fog or mists or whatever. Now, the surrounded by legends of Terrible Tilly, the nearby haunted lighthouse. Reported phenomena include ghostly sightings from the shore, disembodied voices whispering in the winds, and a woman in white, likely linked to the treacherous history of the lighthouse and the dangerous coastal terrains. The Terrible Tilly is Tillamook Rock Lighthouse. They named the lighthouse Terrible Tilly. It's located 1.2 miles off of Tillamook Head. This lighthouse is notoriously haunted due to keepers driven to madness by isolation and deadly storms. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly ships, hearing voices in the wind, and witnessing a woman in white near the shore believed to be connected to the lighthouse's restless spirits. Now, I'm going to guess that is, didn't it say, hold on. Maybe that was the student that fell to her death over the cliff there onto the shore. There's also a bandage man, a popular legend, sometimes associated with the area, tells a ghost wrapped in bandages. I don't know if maybe that was an injured somebody or one of the soldiers that floated up on the head drowned. I don't know. It doesn't say. This says when you see this lighthouse, you just think, oh, what a beautiful lighthouse, but there's much, much more. Devastating storms, harsh existence, isolation, madness, death, and hauntings all add to the myths, mystery, and intrigue surrounding the lighthouse named Terrible Tilly. Locals knew all about the reputation of Terrible Tilly. Oregon Ghost and Monsters tell its rock reputation was known to Native Americans. He stated they believed it was cursed by their gods, haunted by evil spirits, and they were never known to have approached it. There are also stories about Native Americans believed the rock was filled with tunnels inhabited by spirits. Tragedy struck immediately. The first surveyor, Master Mason John Trevis, was hit by a wave and swept out to sea, his remains never to be found. Because of the weird stories surrounding Terrible Tilly, local men refused to work on the lighthouse. Finally, a crew was brought in from outside the area, and the men were sequestered so that the locals couldn't frighten them. Work finally began on the lighthouse, but just getting to the location was dangerous. The only way there was by boat. High winds and huge waves seemed to work with the rock to keep people off of it. Once on the rock, the stay was not usually pleasant. Wow. It's actually showing a couple pictures here without the comfort of having their families with them. Some say it drove men to madness. Besieged by storms, high winds, and massive waves. It was not a pleasant work assignment. It was also hard on the lighthouse itself. In 1934, a rare Pacific hurricane strength storm threw a boulder high enough and hard enough that it broke the lighthouse lens, and it was never replaced. This was, you can hear whispering moans like a man in pain. You see ghost ships. Wow, this place is just fucking crazy. I'll try to pick this computer up and show you a picture of it. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it. This was like out in the middle of the ocean, and this is how the waves hit it. This is fucking crazy. I can see, like, you can only get to it by boat. I wouldn't want to be there. That's not the job I would fucking be good at right there. I tell you what. And I don't really talk about lighthouses very much, but this one is it's out on its own rock. Like, I'm surprised it's lasted that long. Like, it's not attached to land. That's one I wouldn't go to. I would have to skip out on that one. Number 4. It's called Scaponia Park in Vernonia. Scaponia Park in Vernonia, Oregon. It's a small park just outside of Vernonia, Oregon. It may seem small and sweet, but unfortunately, it's one of the most haunted places in Oregon. The story goes about a horse thief who was killed in the park after being found out by the locals. It is said this young man had a cabin on the park grounds and was eventually discovered by this angry mob of locals whom he was stealing their horses. They dragged him from his house and hung him and shot his dog. Supposedly, his body was buried in the park by the river along with his dog. Fun fact, the Twilight Saga was filmed in the same forest. Now, I remember the movie. I remember the forest. Now, it's been reported that a male spirit with a dog has been seen roaming the area. When approached, he disappears. A phantom horse has also been seen just grazing. You can hear yelling from a group of people when nobody's around. You will hear horses neigh, which you will hear the horses and you will hear the dogs barking, but nothing is there. You can hear horse hooves running in the leaves like they're running fast. Hold on, I should have had this. This info should be right down here. Well, I thought I had it pulled up. Let me see if this one was it. Oh, no, I'm in the wrong one. Sorry. Goodness gracious. Okay. No. That's not the one. Well, though, so okay, it says long ago in the late 19th century, there was a man who, as many drifters back in the day did, made a living by stealing horses and selling them. The stranger, whose name remains unknown, had a small dog as his companion. After a while, locals caught onto what the man was doing, his location, and caught up to him and what they were doing. About 12 miles west of St. Helens, near the town of Vernonia, the horse thief met his end along the banks of Nehalem River, just east of town. For some reason, the lynch mob were so overcome with anger, they shot the man's dog as well. They buried both of them together there on the banks of the river under the oak tree. Now, it's said that on certain nights, a shadowy figure of a man and his dog can be seen wandering around the banks of the river in the area, what is now known as Scaponia Park, located along Scapus Veronia Road. Many campers have claimed to have seen the ghostly duo in the campground, perhaps looking for a horse or two to steal in their afterlife. Okay. So, I thought I had more information pulled up, but I guess it is not. I guess just the man with the dog and another horse that's seen grazing. Maybe a horse he decided to keep out of all the ones that he stole. I'm not sure. It doesn't go into detail, and I can't find any other information on it. So, number 5 is the Geyser Grand Hotel. And this is in Baker City. This used to be one of the finest accommodations between Salt Lake City, Utah, and Portland. The third floor of the hotel is infamously haunted. Lights flicker on and off all the time. It's not just one ghost, but several. And staff claim they're a rowdy, partying bunch of ghosts. Some of the staff refuse to go to the third floor after midnight out of respect not to provoke them. Now, this hotel opened in 1889. It's a restored Italian/Victorian landmark known as the Queen of the Mines. It was a social and business hub for miners and ranchers. It says, the fabulous thing about our ghosts is they don't really frighten anybody. They just want to have fun. According The Geyser Grand Hotel are some of the Oregon's friendliest. I guess that depends on how you feel about sharing a room with the ghost of a murder victim and his lover. Perhaps you'd rather spend the night with the victim of a horrible accident, maybe even a few spectral party animals. The Geyser Hotel has them all. So, who haunts it? There is a chef who was beheaded by a dumbwaiter. There's a ghost of a cowboy who was shot and killed in the hotel. And a mysterious lady in blue whose identity remains unknown. There are others, all likely tied to the place's history. Now, Baker City attracted settlers during the Civil War, and it quickly became a hot spot for ranching and farming. Like other Western towns, Baker City was also the place to be for mining entrepreneurs after gold was found in the area. Soon after, a newly built railroad connected to the town to other large cities, and which helped Baker City's growth skyrocket. Named the Queen City of the Mines, Baker City became the place to make money and then spend it. The history: the original hotel, named Hotel Warschauer, opened in 1889. At that time, Baker City was in the middle of its gold rush, and the hotel did very well. So did many miners, including Swiss immigrant Albert Geyser. In 1900, he bought the Warschauer and renamed it the Geyser Grand. The new hotel was marketed as a luxurious, high-class hotel for mine investors and owners. Through its grand reputation, it became known as the finest hotel between Portland and Salt Lake City. The goal of the hotel was to provide the rich in luxury and comfort. The rich with luxury and comfort, Cattle barons, ranchers, politicians, and world travelers all found themselves lodged at this hotel. When mining in the area dried up in 1910, ranchers, businessmen, and other travelers still kept the economy of the Geyser Grand going strong. Up until the 1940s, Baker City was the place to be. At one point, the hotel was transformed into a veterans hospital for wounded soldiers during World War II. After the war was over, the hotel's luster started to slip away, and the structure fell into disrepair. By 1968, the hotel was in need of a restoration. It needed more than a couple boatloads of cash to renovate, and most believe the hotel was just too far gone. The building was soon boarded up and abandoned for close to 25 years. In the 1990s, the luck of old Geyser Grand changed. A couple with love for history came in and invested, as well as raised funds to save the structure. The hotel was reopened in 1998 for business, much to the enjoyment of new guests, as well as the guests of the past who still remain. The hauntings, the apparitions of Geyser Grand began appearing in 1997 during the renovation. Perhaps they were overjoyed with the hotel was being brought back to life. Some entities of the hotel are likely ghosts of people who died in accidents or tragedies of the hotel, like the chef who lost his head in the dumbwaiter. In fact, official documents show that a chef died tragically in the Grand Hotel. A dumbwaiter came down upon him and crashed onto him without warning. His ghost appears in a chef uniform, but with no head. The chef is one of the less friendly spirits of the hotel, known to slam doors as well as throw pots and pans. Some believe that he is still angry about his death. One time, a crate of glasses levitated through the air and then came crashing down onto the floor. The event was witnessed by a living chef of the hotel who blamed the ghost chef for this event. One unknown male entity roams around the hotel, and some say this is a ghost of a cowboy who was shot during its early days of the hotel. He did get justice for his death as his murderer was caught, tried, and convicted, which later led to the very first murder conviction in Baker City. There's a number of female phantoms also haunt this hotel. A lady in blue has been spotted on the staircase, and her beautiful Victorian era dress and long black hair is unmistakable. A spirit of a young woman dwells in the hotel's basement and sometimes on the third floor. She is said to travel all over the hotel, but no one is quite sure who she is. Another female ghost is spotted wandering the halls of the hotel in a purple dress, said to be from about the 1930s. She's well known for her outgoing and friendly demeanor. The balcony on the Palm Court dining room is also a hot spot. A few flapper women in the 20s have been reported people watching from the second floor banister. I always got a kick out of flappers. Did you guys not? Room 302 is said to be the most haunted room in the hotel. The entity reported here is believed to be a former owner, Maybelle Geyser, who lived in the room during her life. She admires jewelry of guests and has been known to hide it from them. She also makes her presence known by knocking on walls and even appearing to guests. While Maybelle Geyser was alive, she had her own chair reserved in the downstairs bar. For a period of time, after she died, anyone who dared to sit in this chair got pinched. Since the bar reopened, she may have mellowed out a bit and doesn't do this anymore, or perhaps there is no chair placed where she used to sit. Room 203 is also a haunted hotspot, and most of the hauntings of this room are auditory. Guests sometimes hear loud music, disembodied voices and laughter, unexplained bangs coming from the empty room next to it that is not used. The TV turns on and off by itself. This is a place to be for ghost aficionados and those looking to experience the unexplainable. Many people, from construction workers, ghost investigators, the owners, their guests, and staff, has all personal experiences and of the unexplained type. They have seen, heard, been touched, or pinched by entities who like to play while enjoying the hotel. There's a lot going on there. I would absolutely go and stay at that hotel. Absolutely, 100%. Unfortunately, I'm not going to travel that far to do it. But if I did, I would absolutely go and do an investigation there. I know y'all'd go. I know every one of y'all would go and like it. All right, number 6, the Malheur Butte in Ontario, Oregon. Once said to be a gathering place for a group of witches. Locals claim that the witches would return someday and have left shadows on the butte. It's Butte. I don't know if it's butt or butte. Many people claim to see apparitions of small dogs and shadowy figures on and around the butte or butte, whatever you call it. It's on private property, so it isn't exactly a recommended haunted trail to take. You will technically be trespassing. Now, this opened in, this was also used by indigenous Indians as a vantage point to observe approaching wagon trails on Oregon Trail in the 1840s. Now, this is a dead volcano. volcano. And it has a long boasted a secret history of witches practicing dark magic, as well as strange creatures who appear in the dead of the night to keep visitors away. It is said that the shadowy past of this volcano entails one full of dark magic, and the witches used to meet in secret in the rugged tip of this dead volcano, whose history dates back over thousands of years. It spans between 15 and 20 million years, so far back that not all the details are known about this landmark. With a history that expensive, it's not really hard to believe that people have experienced odd occurrences and report that accumulated throughout the years. Over the last century, people have experienced strange beings, from ghosts and witches to sprites and fairies, at this location. One thing this once active volcano does not lack is paranormal activity. Native Americans used this as a lookout point to watch for settlers coming in on covered wagons. It is believed that many people met their demise on the trail, and their spirits linger on at this location to this very day. Legends dictate that this was once a place where witches would gather to celebrate their dark occult practices. Covens would regularly meet there to perform their bone-chilling rituals and ceremonies. In the times of the active volcano, the lava dammed up the streams and created lakes and swamps that otherwise would have remained in existence for millions of years. I agree that Lake Idaho once covered most of eastern Oregon more than 2 million years ago. Now it's says, I've been here a long time and I've seen some things that I expect most folks read about in books. I've heard about the witches since I was a boy, and I always was told not to go there after dark. So of course I did. Can't say I'm positive I saw witches, but more than once I've seen robes, long robes that flap in the wind, more than one, sometimes women laughing, but not in a funny way, more of a serious kind of laughing. I don't know. I know each time I left pretty fast. I think there was witches, either ghosts of witches or living witches. I don't have the intention to interrupt them. So that is one person's personal experience there. Now, I saw somewhere that someone wrote that they went all the way to the top and looked down into the volcano, and it looks like you can see bodies kind of floating in there. Don't know if it's ghosts or maybe some of the what's the word I'm looking for? What is it when the witches would give a body for the gods? It's a or they would use animals. It's a I'm having a brain fart on that, but they're saying that the women that they have pushed people over as a one of those, and you could see them floating down in there. No. A sacrifice. Yes, thank you. I also read somewhere that they would sacrifice people and animals, and you could see them floating in there if you go to the top and look in. Apparently, it's not an active volcano anymore, but there's still hot springs, and you can look in there, and there's water in there and stuff like that, but it just doesn't erupt anymore. Yeah, I knew what you meant. I knew it wasn't a Scarface. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I would maybe go there during the day, during daylight hours. I don't know if I would want to go there at night. But I would definitely want to go up to the top and like look in. I would probably want to do that. Now, number 6. Oh shit. Yeah, I will. I'll send her a message when I get off here. I sent her an invite to even come over here. Okay, so number 6. Oh, I just did that one. See, this is why I like to check off shit after I talk about it. This is called, the next one, it's called the Hasita Head Lighthouse, one of the most haunted places in Oregon. I knew exactly what you meant, though, because I was having a brain fart on the word sacrifice. Now, this is an innkeeper's house that was so extremely isolating. You were just, if you took this job, you were very isolated. The access road to the lighthouse was very difficult to navigate, making the innkeeper, family, and guests cut off from the world for long periods of time. Now, a ghost named Rue wanders the grounds and is not fond of making people making alterations to her place. She often sets off fire alarms and makes a general nuisance to people working on the property. It's unclear if she was the daughter or really I accidentally. Sorry, I have to get back in there. I was clicking too fast and clicked onto something else. Come on. Oh my goodness. I shouldn't have been finger fucking the. We're on number 7. Excuse me. Okay. It's unclear if she's the daughter or the wife of a past innkeeper. But I did look into it further and I found out who it was. But these are the ghost stories of called the Gray Lady that frequently scared lighthouse staff, but is harmless to guests and visitors. Now, it's named after Bruno de Heceta, who is in 1775 sailed from the Spanish crown along Oregon's coast, charting the area but turned back due to the shallow waters and rocky shores. Now, in 1889, the lighthouse was constructed on 19 acres and was also a site for supplies to be brought in. The first innkeeper, Andrew P. Held, and his assistant faced isolation and harsh conditions for so long they chose to move on. The second innkeeper, Olaf Hansen, brought stability, established gardens and schoolhouse and a post office. Olaf resided there with his wife and children. Now, one of their daughters fell from the top of the lighthouse and died on impact hitting the ground. His wife never recovered from that loss. So they believe that it's Rue, the wife, is still mourning the daughter that fell from the top of this lighthouse. Now, Rue was the wife of Olaf, the second innkeeper that actually stuck around with his family and made it work, basically. It's actually considered a B&B now, so you can actually stay in the innkeeper's old home. You can go there and stay overnight or a weekend or whatever and ghost hunt. They allow that. Now, Rue is also known as the Gray Lady. Guests in Sash frequently report paranormal activity, including the gray mist apparition, moving furniture, and she will rearrange the furniture. And it is the Victorian era keeper's wife seeking her daughter, which I can completely understand that. This is where I get confused with this, and it's a little bit of off topic for a second. I understand that the wife never quite recovered or got over the loss of the daughter that fell and passed away on impact. And tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me, I want y'all's honest opinion. Now, to me, when someone passes, she's passed by now. So why wouldn't her and her daughter meet up? If that makes sense, right? Because don't they always say your loved ones will be waiting for you? Or, oh, lollipops with cash now. You see what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't her and her daughter have met up in the afterlife? So why would she still be there in searching for her daughter? This is where I get confused with things. And I know that sounds fucked up, but that's where I get confused with things. So you would think they would reunite. If the daughter passed and now she is passed, the daughter would have been there to welcome her. Would they not? Or is that just me? So I don't, maybe she just loved her house. Maybe she's not in search of the daughter, but maybe she loved her house and that's where they stay. And she don't like it if people move the furniture. I can understand that. And she moves the furniture back to the original location of it. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Can you tell me what you guys' thoughts on that are? Because I'm just curious if I'm just the weirdo. All right, number 8. Highway 101. Now, Highway 101 is in Oregon, and it's along the Pacific Coast Highway. Now, y'all have heard me talk about my trip to California and the Pacific Coast Highway, and let me tell you what. The Pacific Coast Highway is where I realized I was so scared of heights. Okay? That is a beautiful drive, but scary as fuck. Now, it is unknown how many deaths took place on this highway. This highway runs particularly along the Oregon and California coasts and is famously haunted, with the most notorious legend being the Bandage Man of Cannon Beach. This entity, described as a rotting bandage-wrapped corpse, reportedly terrorizes vehicles, often smelling of decay. Other tales include foggy apparition sightings and spectral historic figures appearing to travelers. Now, according to Portland Ghosts at the Cannon Beach History Center and Museum, this legend stems from a logger killed in a sawmill accident. He allegedly haunts this highway near Cannon Beach, targeting cars and sometimes pets, specifically in lonely forested stretches. There's also a sea fog spirit, A gentler, though unsettling legend involves a trickster in the fog, according um, uh, to the Californians/Oregons, might haunt your car if you don't appease him, often linked to keeping the coast clean. There's an old Wheeler Hotel in Oregon located along Highway 101. This hotel is known as the Paranormal Hotspot with reported spectral activity. And the keeper ghost of Branscombe Road near the 101, travelers have reported seeing a man in uniform holding a lantern, sometimes appearing to guide drivers through the thick fog. And this is also just down from one of the lighthouses there along the coast. This entire stretch, particularly in North California and Oregon, is rife with tales of ghosts associated with fatal accidents, steep cliffs, and tragic shipwrecks. Let me tell you something. I experienced the Pacific Coast Highway. It was the most breathtaking scenery you've ever seen. But oh my God, I was nauseous around every turn. I was more nauseous again because of how it's one road going. It's a 2-lane highway, one going one way, going. Every once in a while, you might see a fucking thing on the side of the road. It's just a road on the side of a fucking cliff. And there's no guardrail. There's no fucking rail except around the corners. You'll see a rail put up around the corners. But oh my God. There's no way I could have driven it. I was in the passenger seat. I was not even looking out forward or to the driver's side because it was a straight drop. So I kept looking out the passenger door and looking up at the mountain because I kept trying to tell myself, I'm down here. I'm down here. I'm not up there. I'm down here. So I was trying to make myself less nauseous, but it wasn't working. He had to pull over a couple of times for me to throw up. I was constantly taking Dramamine. It was terrible that I couldn't handle being on this 2-lane road on the side of but it was beautiful. The time of year we were there and all the leaves were changing. And that's the only time in my life I've ever seen the leaves change like that. It was breathtaking, but oh my God, I was so sick. And I will never travel that fucking road again. I'll tell you right now, I'm never going over there to do that again. Nope. I'm going to have to go get my 4th one. Anywho, I can understand people just drive off the side of what if you're driving on that road drunk? I can understand you just don't, they drive off the cliff. And if there's shipwrecks out there and whatever, they're going to come up to I get it. We're moving on. We're moving on to the Witch's Castle. This is in Portland, Oregon. This is in Portland, and this is called the Witch's Castle. Now, this is likely the most infamous of all the haunted places in Oregon. While it's true, the origins may be as simple as being an old abandoned public bathroom or park ranger building. However, this location still takes on a wild story. The story of the Balch and Stump family dates back to the 1850s, telling the tale of an underage and inappropriate love when Stump's wife cursed Balch for even thinking about marrying the daughter. Now, Danford Balch fell in love with Stump's daughter, Anna. Now, the story ended with the murder of the Mortimer Stump by Danford Bouch and him claiming Stump's wife as a witch. All right, so it's a ruined stone structure, formerly a 19th century ranger station, rumored to be haunted by the spirit of Danford Bouch, who was hanged for the murder in 1859, and his wife following a tragedy family feud. Visitors report cold spots, eerie lights, and feelings of being watched. Now, the primary spirit is believed to be Danford Bouch, who killed his daughter's husband, Mortimer Stump, after a family dispute. He allegedly hid in the woods and returned to the property, leading to lore about his vengeful spirit. Now, the witch's wife, others believe the spirit of Mary Jane, which was Danford Bouch's wife, haunts the ruins, sometimes referred to as the Witch of the Witch House. The murder feud. Legends persist that the ghosts of Bouch and Stump families still fight their old feuds on the grounds. Visitors frequently report encountering strange glowing figures and experiencing the sensation of being watched by hidden eyes. Apparently, this has become a popular but creepy hiking destination and local landmark for those I said land fart. I don't know why. Landmark for those interested in Portland's dark folklore. I would go there. I would absolutely go there. Now, number 10, the Cape Arago Lighthouse. And y'all know I don't really do cemeteries and lighthouses, but these were just kind of interesting. Now, this is one of many lighthouses along the Oregon coast that claim to have a spooky past. It was first lit in 1866 by Leonard Hall on its own island just offshore the mainland. It once had 1,300-foot-long footbridge that connected it to the main island, but intense storms and waves destroyed this bridge over and over again. Finally, a 400-foot cable line was constructed in 1891 in response, but the line snapped several times, killing and injuring people that tried to use it. Now, could it be the lighthouse bridges and buildings constructions are not welcome here? The Coos tribe has a strong connection to Chief Island, where the lighthouse is constructed, and many of their ancestors are buried along the mainland coast right next to it. These repeated tragedies, coincidence or fate? Now, here you will hear it's reputed to be haunted by spirits from its past, including phantom footsteps on the stairs and a mysterious woman in white seen walking along the sea wall. And that has been reported from Coast Guard personnel. Volunteers reported hearing footsteps on the spiral staircase when they were completely alone. Voices have been reported, particularly during holiday decorating, despite individuals being by themselves. That's all right, Spirit Stalker. I'm glad you came in to join. There's a woman in white. Coast Guard personnel reported seeing a woman walking along the seawall on video and with their own eyes. But when they approached, she was gone. And due to numerous strange events and stories, overnight investigations have been conducted with Coast Guard permission. The lighthouse on Chief's Island, a remote spot, often fuels the haunting tales, particularly given the area's treacherous weather. So apparently it's... Oh, my goodness. Like I said, I don't really do lighthouses because I'm scared to death of heights, which we just went through that. But that time we drove up the Pacific Coast Highway. I think we drove by 2 lighthouses along the California coast, and then we stopped. I can't remember where we. Oh my God, we drove along the Pacific Coast Highway. We actually had a hotel room in Big Sur, so we stayed the night there, and then we had to continue driving along this fucking road the next day. And I don't remember where we. Let's see. Here we go. Fucking grow up. Anyway. Now, the last one that I have is called Crater Lake National Park. Crater Lake National Park is no stranger to spooky stories, and one of the most famous one has to do with an old man. The old man is a 30-foot hemlock log, which I believe we've talked about in the past. First spotted by Joseph Dillard in 1896, has 3 feet sticking out above the water, and it slowly floats around the lake all day. Now, this log, though, stands straight up and down. Most logs will float lengthwise on the top of the water. This one floats up and down. They call this the old man, is the piece of wood. Some say the old man controls the weather. 1988, a group of researchers wanted to explore the bottom of the lake, so they tied up the old man in the fear of running their ship into him. Shortly after, a storm blew in and it began to snow. Once they released him back to the lake, the weather went back to normal. Coincidence? Now, the tales of ghostly campfires on Wizard Island, the old man of the lake log, and ancient Klamath indigenous myths about the spirit Leo. Visitors and rangers have reported mysterious sights and eerie, unexplained phenomena contributing to a reputation of one of Oregon's most haunted natural sites. There's Wizard Island fires. Now, rangers have reported seeing fires on Wizard Island, but upon investigation, no campers or sign of fire are around. A 450-year-old tree stump that floats vertically. The old man is rumored to control the weather. Leo and Skell. Indigenous legends tells of Leo, a spirit from the underworld living in the lake, who fought with Skell, a spirit from Mount Shasta, resulting in the mountain's destruction. Stories include reports of a large dragon-like creature in the deep water, as well as sightings of a young man possibly linked to the 1970s disappearance of Charles McCullough. The lake is over 1,900 feet deep and known for its intense, mysterious blue color. The Klamath people believe the lake is sacred yet dangerous place where spiritual interaction is possible. Visitors sometimes report seeing strange figures, including a woman in white and shadowy figures along the road around this water. I would go there, but I don't think I'd want to go in the water, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I would go to the edge of the water. I don't think I'd want to go in the water. I would definitely want to see the old man floating, but I don't think I'd want to be in a boat to go out there. I don't think I would like that very much. So yeah. So that is the 11 most haunted Oregon places that I have. And I don't have any more for Oregon. There's a lot of places I would go and a lot of that I wouldn't. Like those are pretty evened out. And what do you mean you were cheating on my page? Where were you? Here's the thing. So, oh, come on, here we go. All right. I know I haven't been on for quite some time. I have been so busy. My mom had a stroke in her left eye. We've been dealing with that. Wednesday, I'm taking her to the retina specialist and trying to get that taken care of. I'm in the middle of switching jobs. So I know I haven't been on nearly as much as I was before. I am hoping to get on to a more regular schedule coming up so I could at least be on once a week instead of this once every 3 weeks shit. I'm not liking it. I'm trying my best to get back to normal and get back on a normal schedule. What do you mean? The only one that didn't float was Natalie. Oh, I got you. So yeah, don't worry about I'm cheating on your channel. It is okay. I'm never gonna be mad at you watching something else or someone else. Or if you can catch me, then please catch me. I'm here. I'm still here. I'm just busy and trying to get everything figured out. And you know. Anyway, the next state we're doing is Pennsylvania. And this was the last of the O's. And I know I've been behind. And I know it's been a while since we've done like an eating challenge, whether it be sour candy or those damn fucking pickles, something. I'm going to figure out another challenge to do. And I think maybe Uncle will get in on it with me and he'll order it and I'll order it. And when we both have it, we'll do it together on here. And I'll let everybody know what it is too. If you guys want to order it and do it with us at home, then that's fine too. It's appreciated. So we can do that. And that should be fun. And I'm always up for new games and all of that stuff. But yeah, Spirit Stalker, you got my number, girl. So keep in touch. Text me anytime. And but thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I can only apologize that I haven't been on in 3 fucking weeks. And here it's going to be in a week and a half, 2 weeks coming up. Then it's going to be horoscopes again. So I'll make sure I get those done, but I'm hoping to be on before that. So hopefully, there's Donkey doing the share the live. Anyway, I will keep everyone posted about Mom and the doctor appointment coming up with the specialist. And hopefully we can get the majority of her vision back in her left eye. Anyway, I will be keeping everyone posted. I will get on Pennsylvania. I will be doing Pennsylvania. I'm going to try to find another food challenge for us to do, whether it be something sour, something sweet, something, I don't know. And but I can only thank you guys so much for your support. And I'll always be here. I just don't know how often. I love you guys. And thank you so much for supporting me. I love y'all.